Hello everyone. Today we are going to be looking at past question on decimal. So if you are from Canada, if you are from United States of America, especially from those who are in England and those who are in Scotland. So this is an opportunity for you, especially for those students who are in grade 7. So let's dive into what we're having today. I will see you in the class. All right. Just like I said, we are now in the class. So for those who are in S2, so this is the math class. S2 is grade level 7, especially for those who are in United States of America. So let's dive into what we're having. So these are just the curriculum that I know that is very important for all of us to understand. So from this curriculum, we will be looking at decimal. Decimal is what we are going to be looking at. So without wasting time, let's dive into it. So we have questions that we want to solve. So first and foremost, so this is the first question. And of course, in this question, here we are asked to find or work out 7.28 multiplied by 2. So first and foremost, the first thing you need to understand is that we will pretend as if the decimal is not there. I will write 7, 2, and 8. Then I will multiply it by 2. Alright. So if I do that, 2 multiplied by 8, that will give me 16. I'm going to write 6. So you put 1 on top here. So 2 times 2, that's going to be giving 4 plus 1, that will going to be 5. 2 multiplied by 7, that will give you 14. Write 4 and then your 1 here. Now remember that after the decimal points in the first part here, we have 2 digits. So those 2 digits, write it out, 2, then plus. If you look at this 2, so this is more or less like writing 2.0. So meaning that after the digit, after this decimal, I don't have anything, so we write 0, which is 2. So the implication is that now that we have gotten our final answer, you are going to count 2 digits backward from the from here backward to determine where to put our decimal point. So if I should count it, this is 1, this is 2, so I'm going to put my decimal point there. So invariably, the final answer is 14.56. So that's how to solve that. Alright, so as you can see from here, the answer is 14.56. So let's dive into the second question. Now this is the second question. Let's quickly solve it. We have 1.9 multiplied by 3. Just like I told you, you are going to pretend as if this decimal point is not there. So you write 1 and 9. Then this is 3. So you're going to multiply it. So 3 multiplied by 9, that will give you 27. You're going to write 7. So the 2, put it on top of 1. 3 multiplied by 1, that will give you 3. Then plus 2, that will give you 5. So now we have 57. So where do we now put our decimal point? So you come back here. You will notice that in the first part of the question, after the decimal point, we have 1 digit. So let me write down 1 digit here. So write down, okay, so let me write digits in bracket 1, then plus. This is 3 whole number. It doesn't have a decimal point, so we can just frame a decimal point for it. Let's say 0.0. So meaning that we are going to add 0 to it, making 1. So what does that mean? You start counting from the back, and then after this 7, you put your decimal point there. So the final answer is 5.7. All right, as you can see, so 5.7 is the correct answer. So we'll move on to the third one. So for this third one, we have 8.47. So pretend as if decimal point is not there. 8, 4, and 7. Then you multiply with what? With 5. Mind you, 5 multiplied by 7 will give me 35. Then you write 5. So you put 3 on top of 4. So you multiply 5 with 4. That will give you 20 plus 3. That is 23. You write 3. then the 2 you put on top of 8. 5 times 8 will give you 40 plus 2, that will give you 42. Mind you, you come back to this one. How many digits do we have after the decimal point? 1, 2, so that is 2. Then plus, how many digits do we have after the decimal point here? We don't even have the decimal point, so that will be plus 0. So invariably we are going to count 2 digits, from right backward. So this is 1, this is 2, so I put my decimal point here. So the final answer for 8.47 times 5 is 42.35. It's very simple, so simple like that, as you can see. So this is our answer. So let me look at number 4. We have 1.6, so I will present as it is 16, then multiply by 2. 2 multiplied by 6, that will give you 12. You write 2, so the remaining 1, put it on top of that one, multiply 2 with 1, that is 2, plus 1, that will give you 3. Alright, since we already, so we'll go back to the question. This is 1.6, so we have only one digit after the decimal point, that's 1. Okay, that is 1. I assume that this is multiplication. Sorry, I assume that this is multiplication. So now 1 plus, here is what? 2. We don't have any decimal point, so that's plus 0. So meaning that I will count backward from 2, and here is going to be my decimal point. Alright, now there is something I want to also do. Let's assume that we are asked to walk. Let's assume that we are asked to walk 1.6 divided by 2. So what are we going to do? Same thing that we did here. We'll still assume that we only have 16, and then you now divide it by 1, divided by 2. If I do that, of course, that will just give me 8. That will give me 8. So just like I said, here is 1.6. So we have only one digit after the decimal, 1, then plus. Here we don't have any digit after the decimal, so you put 0. So that means after my first digit, I'm going to have what? I'm going to have my decimal point. So this is the fourth digit. So if I count it back, then I am going to have 0.8. So the final answer here is 0.8. You can see the difference between the multiplication part of it and then the division part of it. So the division part of it is what we actually solve here, and then that gives us the answer, as you can see. Alright, so so you have to circle the answer to 40 times 0.3. So circle the right answer here, and then put your own answer in the comment section below, and then tomorrow we'll continue from where we stopped today. I hope you have really enjoyed the class. I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye bye.